for inviting us here and giving us a chance to talk about our film, a very dear film, a very important film of our time. A film, making itself is a very taxing process, not only for the director and the producer and the rest of the crew members, but also for the actors. At the end of the day, they have to be in the right state of mind to put the director's vision on the screen. I'm into this business since '93. Before that, I was very actively involved in theatre in Delhi. Always maintained that cinema acting is far, far more easier than acting in theatre. Theatre is an actor's medium, and you are left alone on the stage without anybody's help for one and a half, 2 hours. But there are few films who challenge your ability and capability of, and sometimes they make you doubt your own ability. And Aligarh is one of them. Aligarh is a story which appeared in the Professor Death after he died. It appeared in some third or fourth or fifth page. There were only 6-7 lines were written about his death and what exactly has happened. But Hansal Mehta, found this story through a stranger called Ishani and gave it to Apurva Asrani to write a screenplay on it. That was I would say, that step from Hansal Mehta was a very, very brave step, according to me. That he was thinking of making a film about a professor whose sexual orientation was completely different from us. A sexual orientation that is termed illegal and criminal in our country. This is about a story of a professor who is in love with his whiskey, who is in love with Lata Mangeshkar's songs, who is in love with poetry, literature, who is in love with Aligarh Muslim University, who is in love with teaching, and he loves the city Aligarh. But somewhere, this city decided to put him inside the four walls of his room. Even then, they were not happy. They barged into his room, they videographed him, his private business, inside his room, insulted him, humiliated him, and on that ground, university decided to suspend him from the job that he was in love with. And he was coaxed by the community and the NGOs to fight his case. He was a reluctant 64-year-old, you must have seen in the trailer, fragile old man. He wanted to spend the rest of his life in quietness of his flat. A pure soul, innocent man, filled with love, was persuaded and thrown in the battlefield. Reluctantly, he fought his battle, won the case, and got his job back. But unfortunately, the night before him getting the letter from the court, he was found dead. Yes, it's a very serious story. It may sound, and it's a serious film, but made with lots of passion, lots of conviction from the director and the actors and the editor and the writers and the cameraman And with that passion, we are here in Mithilbai College to talk about our film. We make films, or films we believe in, films that we think should survive in this country, films which create debate, apart from giving you a great story. Every time I go out and when I'm mixing up with people, they're complaining about, sir, वो क्या है कि यार आप लोग नाच गाने करते रहते हो, कुछ मतलब होना चाहिए, आप लोग ऐसी फिल्में क्यों नहीं बनाते हो, आप मनोज जी जो है कुछ फिल्में करते हो फिर उस तरह की फिल्में बनती नहीं है. But here is the director. Here is a director who has put himself on the line to talk about something which is completely forbidden in our society. So now and I strongly believe that all the heads which are sitting here, they can change the whole face of the country. They can change the face of the audience. And only for that reason I'm feeling so humbled that, so humbled that they can change the whole, they can change the be made. If you keep, please watch Song and Dance. I don't have any problem. I feature in few to make money. But please encourage these films, this alternate storytelling, which is very, very important for a very healthy cinema viewing. And with that note, I would like to give it to Rajkumar, who is a very dear friend of mine, somebody who is very passionate and doing some great work that I'm very proud of him. He's been such a great co-actor in this very difficult film. He improved my performances in many sequences. So Rajkumar. First of all, let me tell you, there is nothing called homosexual character. And there is nothing called heterosexual character. So let's have a clarity on this, because homosexuality or heterosexuality, they don't break or make a character. That's just a sexual orientation. We focused on the circumstances that Professor Sears was living in, his backstory, where he came from, which city he came from, what must have been his childhood, what must have been his relationship with his brother. His family was completely against him, so they disowned him, they didn't speak to him. His love, his vulnerable points. So you look at a character from every angle and you note it down on a piece of paper or in your mind, and then you start working on it. What I have done, I don't look at, I keep observing people. I have a habit of mimicking people. But when you are approaching a role, you're trying to look at the role through yourself, through your own personality, through your own advantages and disadvantages. Each one of us has everything, every element. You just have to be very honest in looking at those elements and accepting it that yes, it's there, but the degrees may vary. When I'm playing a very bad guy in Tevar, I'm focusing on that guy, somewhere I'm trying to find him inside myself. Yes, the degree is less, but I have to make it larger. I have to project it in a larger way. I try to understand characters through myself. So here we actually, he has given me an assistant director who was quite familiar with and passionate about Marathi poetry. And so we, along with him, I used to just, I created an atmosphere of poetry reading, reading novels, Marathi novels, trying to understand Marathi. And slowly in 10, 15 days, the characters started coming, started becoming visible. You just have to create an atmosphere for the character. And the character starts welcoming you. It starts attracting you towards him. And this is the process I have applied for this, and it worked finally. Sometimes a process that you adopt doesn't work. Then you are, you either you are confused or you are trying something else. So, but finding Professor Sirus was that way very easy, because the process that we started with, it worked for it.
It seems there is another question from the audience.
You mean to say, have I lost my own identity while playing the character?
Yeah, in general, in your daily life.
In daily life, see what happens that there are many characters. Gulzar Saab says that all the characters, if you really play them seriously, they left a mark in your brain. Definitely, most of the actors who are taking their work very seriously, they're working in these kind of films, you'll find them very moody. Their moods, they have mood swings. Sometimes they are happy, sometimes they are just quiet. I think it also it creates a vacuum inside you, because your mind is bruised so badly, playing so many various characters from theatre days till now. But you have to learn to, if you want to be sane. This is what my psychiatrist told me around 10, 15 years back, that if you want to really remain sane, then you have to learn to switch off. And then I started working on it. I didn't know how to do it. I started working on it, and now I reached a point where, after pack up, I just switch off. I like to unwind by say, disturbing Hansal Mehta, knocking his door 50 times. Or Rajkumar Rao, who doesn't even drink wine, I knock his doors so many times, but he's quite disturbing, doesn't open the door. So, like, unwinding is very, very important. Find people from the unit, sit with them, talk something else. Unwinding, and switching it off, basically. Whatever you've done, just forget it. Now look for the next day. And the next day will only start when the morning starts. So I try to switch it off in such a way that and earlier it was not so easy. So I found a way of sitting with people, with the director, with co-actors, with the writer, with the editor, just sitting with them, chit-chatting, chatting about something else. It's quite taxing, yes. Whole day you are in the character. And if you don't do that, you will miss the sur. Sur samajhte hain? You will miss the sur for the next day. So you have to remain in the character. You have to be walking, eating like him. You have to keep thinking about it, keep rehearsing, without telling people that, see, you are so hardworking. No, you are not doing it for anybody. You are doing it for yourself. But at the end of the day, have a glass of wine, play music, dance, and that's what I do.